Series Edition LLC, and Imperial Gunmetal Crystal Age Technology screens, which again, that's going to be changing because I got some new ideas that I'm working on. So, what I'm talking about here is screen paint products. Is it a business or a game? Do people take this seriously, or is this just basically something for them to just kick around as a hobby or whatever? Well, it depends, like I said, at the end of the day, on how much time and work you put into your product. If you are serious about what you're doing, then you want a product at the end of the day that you can back up 100%, because this is going to have your name attached to it. It's going to have your reputation attached to it. So you want to make sure that whatever product you're putting out, that you can stand behind it 100%. That's what any in business, period. And we're not talking about something about business, period. Can you stand behind that product? So this is why I've been pushing about the batch number. As a matter of fact, I got finally, I'm on AVS forums, back in there again, showing off FLE technology, just posting something on there, giving something to think about. But you have to be able to prove that. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out which account is this one. I gotta write these things down, like seriously. On my computers, I got freaking passwords on everything. I'm updating one machine over here. I'm doing a new dummy labels over here because we have to have something to show off. So yeah, it's a bit crazy today. And I still got to go to the store and pick up stuff. All right, let me see. Just got in a few minutes ago and getting things ready because some things I want to do in here already. Looking over stuff I got to do in here, but let's talk about this again. I'm trying to figure out my password is on this account over here. Oh, great goodness, man. I know what this one is. Oh, yeah. Got 4 computers in there. I got to remember passwords. I'm going to write this stuff down, but I don't write stuff down because I figure if someone sees it, then they know it if I know it. Just memorize everything. But is it a business or a game? Do they take the time to design labels? It comes down to everything. Your labels are everything. This is what represents your company, is your label. If you got crappy looking labels, you haven't put any time into it, then your product's going to be looked at as a crappy product. You know, people spend a lot of money on advertising. Advertising is a billion-dollar industry. This is why we developed ad tech, because ad tech, we know we can tap into that particular franchise of business and we can make a ton of money because, again, advertising is everything. People want the best when it comes to advertising, when it comes to showing off their products. And if someone doesn't put the time and effort into it, then there's pretty much, you're not going to take it seriously. Now, it doesn't bother me at the end of the day that people copy off our site. We know people are going to copy off our site. Our site is absolutely insane. There's just so much animation going on the site. There's, we build different, matter of fact, the showroom pages were the pages that we have that for advertising the products aren't big enough for us. So we actually build entire showroom pages, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of work to build these pages. It's a lot of effort. Right now, I'm in here doing the, getting ready to put in the dummy labels for our, when these dummy labels, we call them, until we get the actual labels that have the official copyrights attached to them. All our labels, everything we have, when we design them, have copyrights, which means you got to get in there and bust down that paperwork. And some people really don't want to do paperwork at the end of the day. Black Series editions, they have their own copyrights attached to them. So anytime you see like like a dummy label, that's not the actual label, even though we put a lot of time in designing it, because again, you want the product to look good. Even though it's a dummy label, even though a label we're not going to use, we still put the time into it because it represents our company. We want it to look good. Oh, a crappy label up there where I'm writing my name across the labels and all that dumb nonsense. You have to be professional, because what's going to happen is not only are YouTubers watching you, but other companies are watching you. So you've seen companies reach out to us before because they are watching us. Now, are you taking your business seriously? Can you back your products up? One of the things you're going to have to back that product up is you're going to have some proof that that product actually works. If not, you're going to fall victimized to bad customers that may be out to get you, or trolls at the end of the day who have nothing better to do but to try to taunt you. You have to back yourself up. This is why we can take people to court. This is why we can sue them and prosecute them, because again, we can back everything up. You have to be to do that. Down to your website. Your website is your storefront. This is where people are going to come. They're going to read. You have to make sure your information's on point. As a matter of fact, I literally have to go through my website today with a spelling checker, every single section of it, to make sure everything is spelled correctly. And then if it's not, we have to go in there and just proof and fix everything again. We added new stuff to it. So you have to go through that. You can't be lying on specification sheets. You really can't be doing that. I got to go to storage today. Literally, every time I think about something, there's something where I got to go. I literally got to go to my storage unit, and I got to pull out documents. There's documents I need to get my access to. I got certified screens I got to start collecting. We got black paint we're ordering in because we got demonstrations to do, black versus black. You know, we do these demonstrations constantly. So this is the kind of stuff you hear me talking about. This is literally what you should hear coming out of their mouth all the time. Testing, 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 testing. We literally have to go to eBay. We have to buy a bunch of projectors off there, have them shipped over here because I have to test on lower projectors than 1,000 lumens because the new technology we have has an FLE attached to it, and this stuff filters sunlight. So we literally have to go out and buy whole new meters for this thing because, again, these screens pick up at 132, I think it says 32,000 to 100,000 lux. They can filter. So now the meter we got over there sitting on the floor is an obsolete meter because, again, we can't use it. It means we can stick the screen in an environment that a gray and white screen we know will never be able to survive in. This will be a normal environment for this technology. So we have to enhance all our environments to bring in 10 times more light in order to be able to get the screen to show off its capabilities because it filters sunlight. So this is all the stuff I got to get down and do. If you're serious about your company, don't take it for a joke, you should have oodles and oodles of projectors. You have to have these things. This is very important. If you typecast your product on the same projector over and over again, how do you know how it's going to react on a low-grade projector? How many videos do you have on a low-grade projector? 720p, you should at least have between 50, 60 demonstrations on 720p projectors, even just to prove your point. And go in some of these forum sites. These forum sites can be pretty brutal when you're in there. They will ask you about just about every question under the sun, and you have to be able to answer these questions. So they know that you're serious about your business. I can walk into ABS forums. I can walk into any form of forum chat room I go into, and I can talk with the best of the best because I've done the research, I put the time in, and I put the work in. So how serious do you take your business? Reason why we say a lot of these places, what I've seen so far, with everybody else on eBay and all them different places I've been to, we read through this stuff. Yeah, they're legit. But the other two people we have seen and some other ones we've seen pop up, no, they're not legit. Their practices are horrible. Their websites don't explain exactly what they're selling. They don't know the colors of their own products. They don't know anything about their own product. One of them actually stated, you know who sat there and said, this product works at 2,000 lumens. I tested your product. Your product works at 1,000 lumens. As a matter of fact, it picks up at the same amount of lumens as the house paint, which is another thing too. Products can be matching house paint. That's one thing that scares basically a lot of the paint makers out there is how close does your stuff come to matching an everyday slide off the shelf paint. Like literally, I could go to Home Depot, I can match your stuff easily. A couple of your big companies too, I can match your stuff to house paint. On top of that, they say it works at 2200 lumens. How many demonstrations have you seen actually at 2200 lumens? You should be seeing at least somewhere between 30 to 50 videos tops. You should see that. If they're showing one demonstration in a dark environment, again, same dark environment as the other projectors, that's a red flag right there. That means they really don't know their product. They don't know if it's going to function, it's going to work. They don't know if it's ambient light rejection. If they say it's not ambient light rejection, it's not required, that's a massive red flag because ambient light rejection technology is extremely important. It's embedded in all technology. Just about technologies that can pretty much handle it or basically will apply to it. But if it doesn't have ambient light rejection, that means your screen's going to wash out automatically, which you've seen in demonstrations of people's screens washing out because, again, it doesn't carry an ambient light rejection coating, which is extremely important. This is also going to plague you outside too. Matter of fact, it's going to plague you just about everywhere you're at. What are the other problems? Oh, yeah. Okay, so one of the things I've seen, which is very unprofessional, which I don't care because it pretty much is outset person. You will never see me in a million years copy someone's website. Why would I? We have all this information and technology that we have inside our heads. Why would I need to go to somebody else like Elite Screens, Black Diamond, anyone in big companies and copy? For what? We don't need to because we've done our work, we've done our research. We have our own form of technology and how it's designed and how we built it and how we made it. We have our own stuff. We don't have to go to anybody else. But people will come to us and take our stuff because, again, you're always going to take from the best. You're not going to take from somebody. You're at school and you're copying for an exam. You're not going to copy off the dumbest person in the classroom. You're going to go for the smartest person in the classroom because you know if you copy off him, you're guaranteed to get an A. So they copy off us because they're guaranteed to get an edge. You didn't think about that, did you? Yeah, they copy over stuff. We literally had a person go and copy one of our specification sheets. The sad thing about it is he can't back up the specification sheet, and this will land him in a have not described category with a PayPal complaint because he can't back it up. It's virtually impossible. You can't back it up. You can't back up a snail mail policy. No, your paint's too cheap. You can't back that up. You don't have enough money. You don't make enough money off your product to back up a snail mail. That means you have to replace the entire product and ship it out, even if it's overseas. You don't make enough money to do that. And you probably don't have enough connections. Well, we have, I have some connections and shipping and so forth. And I learned about all this stuff when I found out about different breaks that companies get when it comes out to shipping out products. I'm like, how are they shipping on all these screens? And, it's not costing a lot of money. And I learned all that when I was doing motorized projection screens, and we shipped out 120-inch tension screen. And I found out exactly how much money it costs to ship one of these things, and then do some calls and talking to a few people here and there, and found out that there are certain programs that they have where they have companies can get real serious, huge breaks to be able to ship out products. This is why I'm able to ship out all over the world for free, because I know about these different programs and I signed for a lot of these programs. But if you didn't sign for them, this is going to cost you a lot of money. So anyway, that comes with that. At the end of the day, you have to know your shipping, what it's going to cost you, where you're shipping it to. And I do not like charging my customers a surcharge fee. I mean, you're taking the time to buy my product, trust my product. I'm going to charge an additional fee to ship it. No, we're not doing that. That's corny. Anyway, what's the other thing too on top of that? Oh yeah, the copying of websites. So basically, does it bother us if they copy? Well, things that are basically copyright, then that's why you make sure all your stuff has these little numbers attached to them. See little numbers right here? That's a copyright for the United States government. Right there. So if someone touches your stuff, you can take them to court, you can sue them for them. Like we're doing to somebody right now. We're suing them in court for copyright infringements. But the rest of the stuff, like the dummy labels, I really don't care about that because, again, they're not copyrighted. And I've said that before when we did the Black Series edition. I sat there and said, look, this is the dummy label, clearly in plain. And I said, when you see the real label, you'll see the copyrights pop up. There's a copyright sitting there right on my desk. All my stuff has copyrights when we get done, to show that, hey, look, this is protected. You touch it, see you in court and sue you. That's how it works. Everybody knows how that one works. Anyway, they'll copy over our images like this and say, hey, I had the same thing. That's not, I mean, it doesn't bother me at the end of the day because I know you don't have it. I've seen your products line. I've seen if you could back your products, you wouldn't be canceling orders. We got tons of canceled orders on both parties, which we actually displayed a couple of days ago on AVS Farms. Like, look, I bought from these guys, and we have canceled orders from them. They couldn't even back their products up when we went to go buy their stuff. And they've never purchased, actually one only purchased from us. The other one never touched their stuff at all, period. He won't go near with a 10-foot pole. Of course he's not. And he doesn't want to, he's not stupid. He doesn't want to run the risk of tampering with it and end up getting sued. And he knows if he brings the product and he puts against his product, he's going to get wiped. I mean, we take out certifieds, and these guys can't even touch a certified screen because a certified screen would wreck their stuff, literally. But anyway, so they copy our labels and say, hey, we have the same thing. Well, that's interesting because now you put yourself in a position where you're going to have to show that you have that product. Long after this technology launches and it's on display, will you be able to show the exact same duplicate of the product that we produce? No. What you're doing is you're just basically just taking something to try to tick me off. That's not professional. That shows you don't take your business seriously. Why would you copy something to try to prove, to tick me off, like, hey, I got your stuff, when I know darn well you don't? Because I've seen your products, and your products are garbage. Like, literally, I mean, your products are garbage. If you show me something, we have a product that's extremely outstanding, like, well, I mean, that's quite impressive right there, then that tells me at the end of the day that maybe you have the capabilities to mimic my technology. But from what I've seen already, you guys really can't mimic chalk paint if you wanted to. You can't. I've seen it. Anytime someone does an unboxing, and that says a lot, when they do unboxing, and they shake your paint up vigorously, they show the product as it comes out of the boxing, and it's a dark charcoal gray. You know what I'm getting at here? And then when they paint it down, it's not even close to the color. It's like a complete different color, like a mid-gray. Like, how in the world you start off with charcoal and end up with mid-gray? That tells me at the end of the day you do not know what you're doing. I have never seen that. I have never seen that in the history of screen paint, as long as I've been on here doing it. I have never seen anyone shake up a can and come up with a complete different color. That's why we call it magic paint. That's why it's a picture of the huge hat and a magic wand, because even I can't figure out how you did that blunder at the end of the day. And then there's the lying on the page. I mean, constantly lying with the range gain. I mean, they had a ball laughing at. We go to form sites and post that there, and they're crying. It's just nothing but laugh emojis popping up. That is virtually impossible. Just make it up as you go along. There was one incident where they mixed majority of the paint with water. You can literally see someone pointed it out that when you look at the container, when the light hit it from the window, majority of that paint was water. So he was selling you down a watered down product, and then had the nerve to say that the water works as a delivery system to keep the paint from evaporating. Now, excuse me, you want to know why they changed over to different paint? Because we were going to buy the product, drain the can. That's why I bought the second phone. Right there. I bought the second phone because we were going to buy the product, drain the can, stick the phone up there on a 24-hour stream, so you can see we didn't tamper with it, and then pop it open and see what would happen. Now, if his theory was right, that means the product would basically evaporate or basically turn to some kind of powder-like substance. But if not, and it still had the liquid in it, that means basically he would just bamboozle you and just selling you basically a watered-down screen paint product. Yeah. So pretty much two reasons why the water was put in it. Well, actually one reason why the water was put in it, to thin out the product, to give it like a different texture, so we can say that it's a skin-like coating when actually it's just a paint filled with a lot of water. And I've seen this before, because sometimes if you get a bad contractor who's painting your house, sometimes instead of them spending the extra money for the paint, sometimes they'll drop water in it to expand the paint. So, stuff like that. So yeah, no, I don't think they do take it seriously. They really don't. I mean, you got launch dates. Number one. Well, actually, one of them has. We've seen him before. He has a history of doing this. He'll launch a product, shut the entire site down, come back with something else. That'll shut down. Come back again. That'll shut down. Come back again. That'll shut down. It just constantly open and closing. It's like a revolving door. Sometimes it opens, sometimes it don't. A mystery revolving door. It opens, it doesn't. Opens, it doesn't. But anyway. The other one puts dummy carts. And this is extremely dangerous. A dummy shopping cart. We've actually got a receipt from a Black Frankenstein. This thing doesn't even exist anywhere. As a matter of fact, we did the video research to figure out if it did exist. And it didn't exist because we paid for it and the shopping cart was active, which means it took money out of our accounts. That's a dangerous shopping cart. That means another product pops up. There's no test underneath this product. Can't find any customer reviews. There's nothing on it. Not even on the person who develops the product himself. We can't find anything about this product, but it just popped up out of nowhere and it just exists. And just pushing people to go buy as fast as they can. Well, that didn't happen because people have stopped that nonsense from the door, because I'm not going to watch somebody get ripped off, get a product that they don't even know if they even purchased at the end of the day. How do you file a complaint against something that doesn't exist? Yeah, that's an interesting one right there. Let me see. Silver, hold on for a minute. So that's why I said at the end of the day, they don't take it seriously at all, period. At all. They should have tons and tons of videos. They should have so many videos that if you go on YouTube, you should bump into them quite often. You only see our technology we'll bump into. We pretty much flood YouTube. Matter of fact, we're about to flood Facebook in a few minutes. We got a whole bunch of stuff on there. The stuff you saw loading up yesterday on Thanksgiving, that's the stuff we're getting ready for today, so we can get all that set up to start the platform for the new technology that's ushered into 2024. How much new products do you see them make? Have they been having the same products since day one? A matter of fact, what I've seen already with this goopity goo stuff and this other stuff, the PSP, it's the same product, different color wagon. It's the same thing. Now, we wouldn't mind doing a side by side to see the difference of it all. I can take an FLE technology and stick it next to a black series, show a white level, and you'll see that the FLE pulls a higher white level as a more advanced screen. Can they do that with their products? Now, I've seen the other one do it, and it matches. All his products match to a certain degree. They all match. It's just that they don't take it seriously, people. It's a joke to them. And you know what's going to prove it even more it's a joke to them? The batch number. That is, for them, one of the most terrifying things that they have to do is to do a batch number guarantee. They don't want to do that. Let me see. I want to see this. Do you see them updating their sites? No. I mean, they do dinky stuff. They don't really update the site. I mean, usually if you're going to update a site's going to take you about 3-4 hours at least of work in there to update it. There's so much stuff in there right now. I have to go into the Crystal Ridge site. By the way, just to let you know, heads up, the gunmetal we have on that site, in 2024, the site will be removed. And not the site, but the marketplace completely will be gone. We're going to use the Crystal Ridge site as an information site, and the Imperial gunmetal will be available on the new site we have over here. I had to go down and apply for my business license, another business license, because we have a new technology coming out, and I do plan to have a storefront for my technology. I do plan to sell it and deal with some customers offline. So that I'm going to be doing also too. But anyway, like I said, any future plans, any new updates, nothing. They don't take for them, it's a hobby. It's a hobby at the end of the day. And they don't, I can't really say that because I got people at the end of the day who have hobbies and they take their hobbies seriously. So to them, it's not, they're not serious about it at all, period. And you'll see it as it goes along, because one of the things you will see is that batch number. In order for you to have a batch number, gentlemen, or those you out there who are not testing your products, you're going to have to run tests to your products. You won't be able to patch a batch. You won't be able to pass a batch number without tests. You have to. You have to. That's like all the technology we're working on right now. Just to say, if I didn't test any of this stuff here, none of it at all, period. None of it gets testing. We just give it a pretty label. We slap it into a container. I go buy myself a 4K high-end projector, stick it in a poorly lit environment, go, voila, it works. You know how scary that is at the end of the day? That scares me at the end of the day to say that. So where in the world would I get even know if this product is going to even work on site? I don't know how you guys are working. I don't know how you guys are doing this. I would terrify the daylights out of me just to say that. How do you know? How do you know if you go on site and says, hey man, I need you to bring this screen on site? You know, you got trolls everywhere. Even on offline, you got trolls. You got idiots that walk into a room and go, hey, well, not idiots. People walk into a room and say, hey, I can go to Home Depot and do the same thing. And you have to be to say, no, you can't. With confidence of saying, no, you can't. Because if your stuff matches a house paint on an on-site, you know how embarrassing that is? Yeah, that's really embarrassing. So you have to make sure your stuff is tested. I did a demonstration on site where a guy made a comment, and I had him go out and buy me some black paint and painted half the screen, hit with the projector on a white level, and our technology on the other end was able to produce that high white level where the other paint couldn't even pick up. You know, that brought me a whole lot more orders right there, too. Now, people say, well, no, we can't record when we have people around me without consent. That's the thing about it. You have to have consent. Because not, you can get sued for that. You have to have that consent permission. But anyway, yeah, I can easily do that because I've done tons of black versus black testing. Where if you haven't done this testing, you're in a lot of trouble. What if your product doesn't work out properly on ultra short throw? If it fails on an ultra short throw display, your own site, and you have to use an ultra short throw, they're ultra short throw at that, and it doesn't work at all, period. Because you're used to using it on your projector in your dark environment, and it doesn't work well in a well-lit environment. Your screen ends up washing out. And that's going to be a problem too also. What do we have this at? 2020. Well, we have it there. Oh, it did save. All right, we got it already there. It already saved. All right, cool. I'll come out of this one right here and grab me another one. Yeah, you're going to have to be able to back all that up, everything. If they ask you what distance throw at 1,000 lumens can you register, you're going to have that information. All the stuff they're going to ask you. On top of that, if you're bad at math, and I've seen a few people that are really bad at math on here, you're going to have to know different forms of screen sizes. You're going to have to know basically 1610, 235.1, 235.1. You're going to have to know all that stuff. Even custom built and custom designs. If you haven't built and customized enough screens, then you're going to have a problem in that category too, because some companies are going to help you, ask you for help in order to building some of their projects, and you're going to have to know exactly what you're doing. I've done enough customized rooms to last me a lifetime in order to know all the information and knowledge that I need to actually construct an entire environment to actually accommodate a screen. Which if you're basically cutting corners and you're sticking a screen in the exact same environment it's been in since day one, you haven't learned jack at all, period. But only how to cut corners. I've seen one take a Epson, was it 5959 of a WH projector? I literally had to look it up because some of the model numbers were missing. And take a projector, drop it back 15. Well, and he ain't 15 feet in that environment. I say probably about I say 13 feet at most, 13 feet back, and basically hit 100-inch screen. I have no idea why they even thought this was even going to work. I guess for a person who really doesn't know better, they would see that, but a person who's been around projectors for quite some time, they would have picked it up in a hot second. They definitely would have picked it up in a second. It's virtually impossible if you're going to take a long throw projector. Mind you, long throw projectors, the farther you pull them back, the bigger the screen. Short throws, basically, you have to be at a shorter distance, and ultra short throws and sit right on top of the screen. So if you have a long throw projector and you're dropping back at least 15 feet, the only way you're going to achieve a screen size of that small to be to fit within a 100-inch screen, unless you have something called an extended long throw lens. And they have those on venue projectors, and that projector is too small to actually accommodate a lens of that caliber. So that's the only way. Because I got projectors, you can drop back 100 feet and you achieve a screen smaller than 100 inches because it has that particular type of lens on it. So that's the only way. So pretty much what they'll do in the cheap is they'll basically pull the projector back. They'll take the zoom and push it all the way down. So that way the image is more compressed together. Pixels are more compressed, and it gives off a much sharper and brighter image at a distance. There is no way in the world a projector of that caliber is going to fit in a 100-inch screen at 13 to 14 feet away. You should at least walked off easily with a 120-inch with no problem, which I went to Projector Central and got the exact size he would have got from that distance. So it's 15 to 16, I think he had in there, 15 to 16. So there's no way in the world. That's one of the things I saw with Danny's demonstration when he had a screen outside and he had at 11 feet, no, 12 feet from the image, and he was saying, look, it fits perfect. It was fitting perfectly inside of this little tiny sample sheet. Now, if it was overlapping, then that shows that basically it's doing an overlap. The pixels are expanded, they're maxed out. He's basically showing an image, it's picking up. But if it's fitting inside that little area perfectly, that means you got the zoom pushed all the way down. Cheaters. We see that. I'm not the only one that sees it. A lot of people see it. A lot of people have been in the projection field for a long time. We look at that and start laughing. They automatically know from the door. People who specialize in ambient light rejection technology, I over here can look in your environment and I can see all your little shadows. Windows are not open. I can pick apart the lead screen demonstration they did with an ultra short throw projector. They clearly had windows here in the front, but they had no windows in the back. Windows in the back would have affected the screen. Windows in the front, no. That's the light's going to go woo, whoop. That's not going to happen. And then he said the blinds were open, and clearly you can see the blinds were open because you can see objects on the opposite side if his blinds were open. Yeah, you guys, I mean, it's not only that with them. They do take their business seriously, but they really don't do their demonstrations all that well. That's what makes it so easy for me to crush their products. The certified screens have no competition for us because we've seen all their demonstrations. Dark ambient light controlled environments, high-powered projectors. If they're in an environment where there's too much light, they'll switch over to ultra short throws because an ultra short throw has less of a distance throw, and that means the screen has less of a chance of fading and washing out in the process. It's going to wash and fade out, but not to the point that they want to make it still desirable for the customer. You know, it's just too easy. Now, see how I'm talking to you on camera? This is what you should be hearing. This is what, when they explain things to you, they should be able to tell you why it happens, what's the trigger effect, what's going to cause it. They should tell you all this. They can't tell you all this because they've been too busy cutting corners. They'll sit there and go, they'll say the same thing, the color, the contrast, the hue. No, you have to explain why. What's the difference in why people use venue projectors over using projectors? And if you go to commercial sighting, most projectors you'll see are big boy venues in there. And the reason why, because the big boy venues can do 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 lumens easy. But are they going to get 7,000 lumens out of this machine? You can see in the demonstration with the church. No, they're not going to get 7,000 lumens. It's not going to happen. Because you got 7,000 lumen hit in a white screen or a gray screen. Gray screen may be able to pick up some of it, but it's still going to wash out. Where if you're using 7,000 lumens, you're not going to start with 7,000 lumens and end within 7,000 lumens, depending on how much light you have in the environment. So if you got windows on each side and you got all this commercial lighting, the reason why they'll go with a big beefy projector like that, because they're going to have to sacrifice some lumens before they make contact with the screen. They have to calculate how much the screen is going to need in order to generate an image to push back at them. It might not be a beautiful image, but at least it's something there that can push back. So that's what they're going to need. Hold on for a minute. Somebody's in here ranting and going. I'm going to put them in a little chat section for a minute because they're just ranting about nothing. So you're going to have sacrifice. That's why they go with the venues. There's no way in the world you're going to start off with 7,000 and end with 7,000. That's virtually impossible. You're just going to lose some. And they know they're going to sacrifice along the way, depending on how far the projector is sitting back, on how far it has to travel from A to B, how much light it has to push to per square inch, how much of those lumens are going to drop before it makes contact with the screen, and how much is going to be left and has to be enough in order for the screen to be to see it, generate it, and push it back. That's why they use these massive giant monsters in these environments. It's not people think, oh, it's 50,000 lumens, so it's being hit with. No, it's not being hit with 50,000 lumens. It's way less than that. They need enough to sacrifice before they make it from A to B. Now, if they take an everyday projector of 1,000 lumens or a projector of, let me see, of 28 or 3,000, that's going. That'll get ripped up out there in no time at all. And then if it does make contact and does make connection with the screen, does the screen have enough power to be able to amplify whatever's left over and bring it back to you? That's where your gain comes in on your screen. So black screens don't have that issue. Black screens can take whatever very little bit that a projector can hit it with and magnify and bring it back to you in a beautiful image. Where a white screen has a problem. It picks up a little bit, but not enough for you to see an image that comes back, and in your mind, you're thinking, I got to spend more money for more projector, and actually you don't get to switch your screen out. Gray screens pick up some of it, but not enough for you to get a beautiful image. Your image is still going to be washed out, it's still going to be faded, but you can't read it. Mind you, the projector is pushing out the image. There's nothing wrong with the machine behind you. It is pushing out the contrast, it's pushing out the color, it's pushing out the resolution. The problem is your screen can't pick it up, it can't see it. That's what it comes down to. And people sit there and blame the projector, go out and spend the money for an expensive projector just to get a little inch. That's it. And go, Chad, what the freak is going on? Like if you look in the video of the church, they have a 7,000 lumen projector. They can't see the screen. Now, they could have went out and spent the money for a 10,000 or 20,000, which would cost them a lot more money, or they could have stayed with the 7,000, switched out of our technology, and the screen popped on. It's your screen is the biggest part of your home theater setup. But if you fake these demonstrations and you don't do them correctly, what's going to happen is the customer is going to suffer for it. So, wait, hold on a minute. I got to get a charge here. Yeah, busy day. Day is always busy. Sorry, hold on a minute. I got to grab me a charge real quick. Phone's dying. Spent all day taking pictures with family. But anyway, yeah, so the way I'm talking to you right now, the way I'm explaining things to you right now is what you should be hearing from them. This is how, because they should understand what they're talking about. The reason why they can't explain to you distance throw, because they always use ultra short throw projectors. That's the projector for cheating on. We only use ultra short throws to show you at the end of the day that you don't have to go out and spend thousands and thousands of dollars for an ultra short throw. You fall into these gimmicks of people saying, oh, if you buy this particular projector, you can produce a 150-inch screen. That's not going to happen anyway. So showing you that with our black technology, you can achieve a 150-inch screen easy. Now, as for the person who said something about the range gain, let me explain something to you. That's not possible. But telling people at the end of the day on our end, we're saying, hey, if you buy a $60 projector, you can achieve a 150-inch screen from a projector that's only designed to do 80 inches. You know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to back that theory up. You're going to have dozens and dozens and dozens of demonstrations of showing you with a projector that only does 80 inches, producing at 150 inches. And not only have to have that, you have to have it in fully lit environments to back that theory. How many demonstrations do we have in this particular projector behind me? We have tons of demonstrations. We have them inside, we have them outside. We can back that up 100%. But you can't back up range gain because, again, It's not possible. Now, if it is possible, you would see tons of demonstrations on it. Do you have any idea how rich he would be if he literally figured out how to change a gain on a screen paint if you paint it in a different direction? You know how rich you would be? Yeah, it can't do it. There's no demonstrations on it because it's virtually impossible. One of the things we heard from the other fellow who made claims that his Cinemax could produce a 100% contrast level. I've been developing gray screen paints for years. That's virtually impossible. I've never seen that before, ever. But did a demonstration clearly on a projector with a 2 million to 1 contrast. Keep in mind, 2 million to 1 contrast in a dark environment, saying, look, you can pick up those contrasts on 100% black. It's funny because if in a fully lit environment, that projector would have completely washed out, which we saw in the demonstration when we saw the Network Gray 773 and his product, and the logo that popped up on LG is an all black logo that pops up for the OLED, and that came up gray. So how is that possible? If you just saw, hold on for a minute, let me go back to something here, because I gotta come at this for a minute. I'm still doing work in here. See all the work I'm doing here? This is what I'm doing today. I'm actually designing our dummy labels for 2024, so we can get ready. Because our new stuff, I got a hold of the graphic designer, and finally got a hold of her, and she's going to design her own custom labels. Oh, freaking things are sick. They wrap all the way around the can. It's got this kind of comic book display to it for these guys right here. Oh, I forgot. These are physical screens. It'll be the other product that we're getting to wrap around here. This is a physical projection screen, not these. All right, let me go over here real quick. If you are customers, let me explain something for the door. These topics are not good for customers. You come in, you want to ask questions about our products, and I don't want you to take it as, hey, he's being rude to me. This is not the place for it. We got plenty of places we can reach out to us to ask about our products. These are hot mic episodes I have on here because it basically outs people at the end of the day that are not doing their jobs correctly as screen paint makers. People that are manufacturing products, that's for them. So don't take it offensively if I don't basically communicate with you or talk back with you. Now, for those of you who make these products and you come in here and you start talking about this, that, and the other, let me explain something to you. You talk don't mean jack to me at the end of the day. I need to see you back it up. If you're making claims at the end of the day, when I do my YouTube field trip, whether it be online or whether it be basically me just offline, I need to see you back it up. Coming in here and explaining things to me at the end of the day don't mean jack to me at the end of the day. I'm a person who backs it up. So explaining this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 and blah, 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 doesn't back it up for me. You want me to buy your product, bring it down here and test it for you, because you will not like the outcome of it all. I won't cut corners. We won't use high-end projectors. We won't baby your screen at the end of the day. We will put it through some real serious testing, and your screen will fail on camera. If it doesn't fail on camera and it does quite well, then hey, I'll back your product 100%. I got no problem with that whatsoever. I'll back your product. I'll put you even on my website. I was going to say, hey, we tested this product. It's fantastic. That screen called Pro HD, whatever it was, fantastic product. Freaking loved it. I would advertise that stuff any day of the week. When I got it down here, ordering it was fantastic. Didn't have to go through no freaking nonsense at the end of the day. Product came down here with the labels attached to it. Ordered another product, and the labels weren't even on it. They didn't even put the labels on it, because you know why? Because they knew who we were. They knew we test our products over here. So they sent a package over here with no labels on it. Oh, we know who the company is, but I didn't put it out there. But yeah, no labels on the can. I've had certified screens come over here from big companies, and they wouldn't even put in any information on what they sent over here because they don't want us to know. Matter of fact, I got to call somebody and figure out exactly what the heck we got sitting behind us, because we didn't even get any information on what the panel was at all, period. Because they don't want people to know that we basically side by sides or whatever. But anyway, if you're in here and you're talking about your product, because the only people that should be in here having these conversations with me are basically people who make these products. You should be in here. Customers don't need to be in here. Unless customers are going to be here watching to see the reaction on how you guys are carrying yourself for real. All right? So if you're telling me at the end of the day, I pull 100% contrast, I will test your stuff. You know that, right? We have 100% black screens over here. If you can't register next to this technology, it's going to have a problem at the end of the day. And then I'm going to test you on white levels. And that's from FLE. Yeah, that stuff's pretty of a beast right there. If you're going to tell me that you have FLE technology is front and rear. You know that, right? It's not basically front. It's front and rear. It has to filter light. That stuff can draw in sunlight. So that means you can pick up 100,000 lux. You can register on that. I'll take you outside and we'll see if you work or not. See, that's what I'm saying. Blah, 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 blah. So when you come in here, if you haven't done these demonstrations already, if I haven't bumped into your demonstration, go, ooh, man, that's impressive. I like that right there. Then it's a waste of my time for you to come in here and explain your case. Talk is cheap. Back it up. That's all to it. We get them and they come here from time to time. I'll be in different forum sites and they'll pop in there about it plenty. They won't come in live on YouTube stream, but they'll come in on different sites and they'll talk about, yeah, well, my product is so much. Well, why didn't you advertise it? Why didn't you show that off? Why would you keep that a secret? Are you just saying this because you're in the room, or do you have proof? Can you send me some videos? And we never hear from them again. They'll disappear and won't come back. So if you're going to sit there and make statements, then you need to go in and basically back your products up. The tone nightmare. Oh, we know that nightmare right there. Those of you who have gray paints up there, how many demonstrations have you done on gray versus gray? Like if I go to YouTube right now, how many gray versus gray demonstrations do I see? Only 2 pop up. Well, actually don't pop up. They pop up on our account because we actually have the videos because they deleted the videos off their account. So can you promise your customers a batch number guarantee? Now, for those of you who know what the batch number guarantee is, a batch number guarantee protects the merchant and it protects the customer. It's a fantastic idea. It's been going around for years and years and years and years. I'm not the only one that came up with this idea. You look up batch number, you'll see it pop up. Companies use them all the time. So what the batch number does is basically if your product is tested, if you did test your product before you sold it, then that means you should be able to pass a batch number with no problem. So in the batch number, basically it's a live video demonstration. It has to be done live. In this live demonstration, this is a product that you will timestamp to the date the video is made will be timestamped to the container. So that means that the customer gets a chance to see their product being tested before it's shipped to them. Isn't that fantastic? And for the merchant, they can back their products up. Say if they get a customer that may not be a nice customer at the end of the day and may file a false complaint against them, they can back their product. And if somebody company wants to take them to court and sue them on something, they can back their product because their stuff is tested. All right. So, but if you're a customer at the end of the day, it's also wins for you because again, you get a chance to see your product tested. And if you ever want to go back and check your batch number, you type it up, or you can go to my channel and type it up, and your video will pop up. Now, the batch numbers we just did, that was one of the most interesting batch numbers ever. We tore up a cardboard box. We didn't fix the screen up there. We tore up a cardboard box and painted it piece by piece and stapled it to the side of a wall. And that screen pulled up with no problem. Also, we hit it with some black paint. We also hit it with a t-shirt, stuff like that. Registered with no problem whatsoever. That stuff that, again, making it out of a 5-gallon container also helps too. Because again, I give a little tips and advice to people that are manufacturing these products, make them at 5 gallons at a time, because then that cuts down on the individual. I may come and say, hey, my product's tainted, it doesn't work. Well, that means the entire 5 gallons would have to be tainted too. This will also protect you in court as a merchant. But anybody who argues this, who fights this, who's upset with this decision, clearly has outed themselves as a scammer. Why would you argue this? This helps you at the end of the day. It actually ensures a guarantee to your customers. What's the problem? And the people who argue this and are upset and mad about this, which we showed you, on my messaging board, we got someone in there ranting and carrying on, upset about this because they don't want to do this at all, period. They just want to continue to rip off their customers. That's all they want to do. Make their money, rip off the customers, back up Jack. But these are the same people, I guarantee you, that if went to an AutoZone and was sold some faulty brakes or anything to their car, they'd be the first one snapping and carrying on and getting upset to my way. I thought it came with a guarantee. What do you mean it don't come with a guarantee? No, I ain't buying anything without. Without a what? You're not buying anything without a guarantee to show that it works 100%. But it's funny that you sell a product that doesn't have a guarantee attached to it. Doesn't that sound pretty funny at the end of the day? I guarantee you take when these guys go in there and they get ripped off on something, they'd be losing their mind in there, carrying on, screaming and yelling. I bought this 100%. It's supposed to work. Where's the guarantee? It's supposed to work. It wasn't tested. It wasn't what? Oh, it wasn't tested. Just like your product, it wasn't tested. You got to think about that. Take a good long look in the mirror of people who make these products that are not tested and think about it next time you snap on something because you're upset because somebody didn't test it out correctly. It didn't work the way you thought it was going to work and you got upset about it. You think about that for a minute. Let me tell you something. For people who want to come in and question me at the end of the day, how are you going to question me? I'm over 9,000 videos. I've been making gray paint, gunmetal paint, black paint. All my stuff is tested. I got the most black versus black demonstrations right now. Show me how many people that have as many black versus black demonstrations. We literally have the most demonstrations for outdoor demonstration. You go to Chris Lewis page, it's insane over there on how many demonstrations. Consider the fact that the test demonstrations we have, you can go into my YouTube channel and you can punch in test and boom, test will pop up. Different projectors, boom, will pop up. We've done all this stuff already. I've done so many demonstrations. It's funny because I'll run across other demonstrations. Like, gee whiz, I forgot we even did this one. We had to do a demonstration in Canada to prove that our screens were weatherproof. I froze the screen into a block of ice, stuck it in the refrigerator, froze into a block of ice, had to beat it open with a hammer, had to stick it inside of an oven to get it to unthaw, pulled it apart on camera. You can hear the ice popping, and not one crack, not one peel. Was able to hang it up while it was soaking wet and watch a movie off of it. I've done demonstrations at screens at 150 inches outside in snowstorms and rainstorms. Come on, gentlemen. At the end of the day, you have to back it up. You can't just run your mouth. If I sat there and came on camera right now and says, hey, look, we got a projection screen that can filter sunlight. You know how crazy that sounds at the end of the day? You can't just say it. You got to back it up. I got oodles and oodles of demonstrations of all hours of the day of a screen basically absorbing sunlight. You got to back up everything that you say. So people don't take you as a joke, because right now those individuals are considered to be jokes. Their screens are jokes. If you have one of these screens and you walk into a forum site, you're a laughing stock. You got a person who literally sat there and matched house paint in a live stream twice. That paint's a joke. Nobody go near that stuff. Well, look, I know. And then they come in and they complain about what? What are you complaining about? My challenges? How many challenges do I have? Got challenges that date back to 2019, probably farther than that, and none of those have been matched. What's going on with that? How many certified screens can you take out? So I'm a person with deep pockets. I can afford $20,000 for a screen. Can you show me the difference on why your product is better than a $20,000 screen that I can pay for at the end of the day? How many test demonstrations do you have against these certified? You don't have any. Because the reason why you don't have any, because again, a certified gunmetal screen, you cannot take on. The fact that this screen right here has the ability to pull in an outstanding white level. It pulls up amazing contrast. It's not 100% black, but it still pulls up a better contrast than some of these gray paints that's standing here in the market. And if you have a darker mix, keep in fact, you have no white level tests. Where's your white level test against a white screen on a 1,000 lumen projector at around 15 to 16 feet back at a fully lit environment? Do you have any of these demonstrations at all? Period. None. What's the color balance on your product? So if I take a 1,000 lumen projector, I drop it back 15 feet back, 16 feet, fully lit environment, take a white surface, take a black surface, what we do on our side. Can you show us a proper color balance? You can't show this on a gray screen, because if you take a gray screen of any caliber and you stick it in a fully lit environment, it automatically washes out. That's why when you see them try to do test demonstrations, they'll have it in a dark environment, because they know that the screen's going to have issues. You have an outdated, put it this way, gentlemen, and I'm going to burst your bubble here big time. The gray screen paints are obsolete. Just say it as it is. It's obsolete. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to show you why it's obsolete. You can never produce a batch number, ever. You know why? Because if you have to do a gray versus gray, which is one of the demonstrations that has to be done in a batch number in testing, you have to prove that your product does not match any form of gray paints. So how would you pass a batch number if you haven't done the test? You watch somebody do this. Can you imagine if this individual in a batch number did exactly what happened on his demonstration on a gray versus gray? Can you imagine what would have happened? Let's see. Those are my tests. The reason why they're upset, and I'll tell you why they're bothering people. Number one, I arm customers. I tell customers what to say when you're buying a product. I always tell them what to say. When you're buying a product, ask for three things. Ask for, you want a product. You can show testing before the product was sold, time stamped. Make sure that you can do a demonstration on the difference between a gray paint versus their product, so that way you're getting shipped a 100% product, and require the batch number. So this triggers you. Why would this trigger you in any way whatsoever? You should want to do this anyway, because again, you can back your stuff. So let me show you right here. We're going to go over, this is the Crystal Edge page right over here. Let's go over to the blacklist. I got to add some stuff to the blacklist too. Not besides this one. I bought some lead lights. These things were trash. They were trash. Jawa. They were trash. They're going up here today. They're going to definitely go up here. And also too, up here, I'm going to be putting the reviews that I did against the Valve projector, which claimed to be a 4K projector. And we got them to say it's a 1080p, because that's exactly what you bought with the 1080p projector. We'll have them up here too, basically to give you some insights on that projector. And also the JM Go, which did a Kickstarter program. They said nothing about 1080p in that one. And they finally admit that projector was a 1080p also too. Let's see. Now, this is why products have to be tested. Now, this is a product that we're going to say his name. A fellow by the name of Crow 1176, or he says his name now is Crow's Cinemax Mix, which I have no idea why you named it Cinemax, because that's the last name you need to use in your product is a Cinemax, because that stuff clearly matched house paint. But anyway, this is where he gave out products for free. For those you sit there and say, oh, you never, yeah, he did. He gave out products for free at one point before he started selling them to his customers. Curious part about all this is actually a challenge. Now, the interesting thing about this particular video is the products that he's now selling, do they match the products that he used to give away for free? How much of that stuff right there is going to match how much of his paint he has now? That's why there's a challenge attached to it. See right there where it says at the top, where it says challenge? This is a video that someone had sent to me and said, hey, there's a video of him making this paint for free. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, send it over. And it hooked up and said, whoa, yeah, it is. It even tells you how to make it. It's right there on the thumbnail telling you how to make the product. Now, you won't find this video because he removed it off his account. But curious how much of that will match how much of what he's selling. This is why testing is important. All right, let's roll it down. People, keep on rolling. Here. Now, I came with the idea with the Network Grade 773. Mind you, we started all that. And the reason why we started all that is because I was sitting there thinking like, okay, what are the odds of, with all the tones out there being on the market, what are the odds of these guys just not mixing it anymore? Just basically just grabbing something off the shelf, put a little Christmas glitter into it and go, voila, new product, sticking in with a 4K projector, dark environment, go look at the image that you're picking up. With no testing, nothing behind it. So how do you know that you're not being shipped house paint? So we went to Sherwin-Williams. They brought up a couple of swatches of which ones we want. And I was like, okay, I like this one right here. What's this one? He said, what's this Network Grade 773? I said, we'll send that over. And that's what we got right there in the container. Now, in our test demonstrations, it matched 4 of his products. You see his product sitting up there in the thumbnail. There is the Cinemax Mix. There's the Crow Personal Mix. It's funny about the Metallica Mix also, too. Before you guys start ranting and carrying on, we had that shipped to us by a customer. He didn't even know it was us. So that package right there was never tampered with because he didn't know it was coming to us. This is where we got the email nonsense that went on with them emailing us, telling us to buy whatever we want because, he got terrified because he actually shipped out a product that he didn't want to go out to us. Doesn't that sound funny? He don't want to ship it to us. But anyway, so that right there is a legit product because we have an unboxing on that product right here where the container was leaking paint all over the place. This right here is a personal mix. You can go to my website, you can look at the unboxings on the products that we were able to get at the time when he was shipping these products that were legit. Now, little message to the person who's ranting, probably upset. He's probably in the channel with a fake channel. I wouldn't do that. I told you, you're in an open investigation. You can sit there and say that we're taunting you. Not technically, we're not taunting you. Technically, what's going on right now is basically the reason why you're being chosen for this because you're the absolute perfect poster child on why products have to be tested. And if you ever want to take me to court, I'll definitely take you before a judge and sit there and say, look, Your Honor, the reason why I've done these videos is because this person has matched multiple versions of gray paint. We were able to make his product. He was selling a product that wasn't even tested on YouTube. He was committing massive amounts of fraud. You want to go a little farther than that? We can start digging into your licenses too on top of that. His company itself is not in good standing. He's committed. You really want to go down that road. So if I were you, just take the hit and deal with it. Because right now, again, this is you. You got on YouTube. You pumped up this product to be something that it's not. And then the results came out ugly. So what you're seeing here with the peppers all matching, that right there is Network Gray 773. That's his product right here. He charges his customers for. And mind you, he did this on an Optima P2 projector. Yeah. All right. So down here at the bottom, this is the demonstration, the black versus black. And so it's not black, the free mix that he shows you how to make for free. Curious how much of this stuff would match. We literally made 3 of his screen paints. 3 of them right there. Videos right there with UV mix and a reversal, all that stuff. So it just showed us at the end of the day from watching the video and watching his tutorial. Mind you, we watched your tutorial on how to make it. All we had to do was just basically just add in so much of black and so much of white, and we're able to make your stuff. How much of your stuff can be made by you watching the tutorial? Also, too, when I did the demonstration, when I made the Metallica 2.0, I actually put it against the personal mix and see how well that would match, and it matched perfectly. Which shows me that your product is nothing more than a bunch of house paint with a couple of shades off. Now, if you look at this right here, you'll see these are screenshots. This is where we post over in forum sites. This is videos that he showed, trying to say on camera that there was a massive difference between his product and the house paint. This is why the batch numbers are important. Because with a batch number, can you imagine you watching him do a batch number and you see this? Now, would you buy the product still? No, you wouldn't buy the product still. You go out and buy the house paint. Why aren't these posted directly to his website? Because again, why am I going to give you 50 bucks for a quart when I can go out and get a gallon for 30? Why? Look at that. You can't get upset about it. No one put a gun to your head. No one forced you to do these videos. This right here is the paint I showed you. That's Crow's product. That's where we got it from the customer who shipped it to us, who purchased it for us and shipped it to us. Because again, like I said, we couldn't buy products from Jamie because Jamie kept canceling orders. And on top of that, he committed 2 acts of post office mail fraud. So, you know, he got filed on that too for doing something he shouldn't have done. But anyway, yeah, we had a customer get it. So this is a product that he shipped to a customer. It had a hole in the container. It was leaking paint all over the place. It wasn't even properly wrapped. Very, very poor way of wrapping a package. But not only that, this stuff matched house paint easily. Now, look, at the end of the day, there's no point in ranting about this. To Jamie, if you're in here with fake accounts or whatever, there's no point in ranting about this. The reason why you can't rant about this is because, again, instead of you in here crying and whining all day, how about you do the test? How about you go out and get the Sherwin-Williams again and put against all your great products, because you only did one demonstration with the Network Gray. You only did the Cinemax, and that was the end of it. You didn't do the rest of the products. How about you do the Amazon Slip Silver? You don't do that. How about you make your own black versus your paint you made up there and put that against your own products? That was never even done. And we're still waiting for that to be done. And then you get mad at me because I say batch number. Batch number triggers the daylights out of him because, again, he doesn't want to do a batch number. You have to do a batch number. You have to give your customers a guarantee. Because if not, they're victimized to what just happened to you. Just happened to you in a demonstration of your product matching house paint. So this is what your customers have to be subjected to because you don't want to do tests. And the reason why I'm going to tell you right now why he's not going to do this demonstration, not ever will he ever do this, because he doesn't want to go through what he went through on this video. He was trapped, nowhere to go, talked all this trash. He talked a ton of trash before the video started. And then when that screen blended in, I guarantee you could probably hear his entire brain just shut down. But this is what happens to you screen paint makers out there. This is a perfect example why your products have to be tested. Because you don't want to end up like this guy at the end of the day. He got on there with a product that was untested, took a house paint, and he blended it and matched it. That means his product now is worth way less than the house paint that's being sold at $15 a gallon. It's way less. So I can see right there, brimming with confidence. Jamie, let me explain something to you. And I do know law at the end of the day, so you can understand this, okay? First things first, I can basically post this as much as I want. As long as I don't cut off your head, stick it onto a puppet's body, and put a bunch of nonsense around it, then you can sue me. You know, like you did with me. I can sue you for that. But as long as I have you there intact with the video, nothing being done to it, nothing being altered to it in any way, and it's just showing the video in its true form, you can't touch me. I know already. But you taking my head off and sticking it on a puppet character and, yeah, making a meme out of me, I could sue you for that easily. All right, then, let's move on. I got time. I really don't have time to have discussion. And let me go on here and put this person is ranting like crazy. Timeout for you. I'm not banning you. Just giving you a timeout. You're doing too much. You're going to mess around and you're going to pass out on camera. And I don't need you in there basically losing your mind. We got another guy in there called Minister. Let me see. Let's get him too. Bye-bye. Losing his mind over there. I told you they're coming in and losing their mind. That's why they're upset about it. Now, why in the world are they giving off all this angry energy right now? All this angry energy off this video? Because they're outed. They backed this person at the end of the day. These are the individuals who backed this person at the end of the day. Why are they giving off all this angry energy? Why are they so upset about it? Or is what we're showing here the truth? And if I sit here and say this guy matched the house paint, and there's a guy in the video showing him matching the house paint, why are you getting up all this energy? Because you're upset. Because you're outed, that's why. People always get upset when they get caught in their lies. This is why we say y'all don't take y'all products seriously. If he had tested this product, this would have never happened. He would have been able to beat this. And what makes matters even worse, people, and the reason why the batch number is required is because did he apologize to his customers? Did he tell his customers, hey, look, we matched house paint. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to make better products. I'm going to test our products from now on against these particular products so we can prove to our customers that our products are legit. Did he say anything like that? No. We can show the courts at the end of the day, because mind you, Jamie's company is being sued. We can show for a couple of things. One of them is actually fraud and perjury for the business license and all that stuff. But anyway, the problem is that you have it. You continue to sell. Matter of fact, we can show timestamps. So we went in and showed that you were still selling these products long after you got caught in this video, which means you were selling a product that you knew at the end of the day match house paint, but you lied and told your customers it was something completely different. That's considered to be fraud. That means you got to pay that money back. You'll be fine. They'll find that. They could find the daylights out of you for that. Did you remove the product off the shelf when you found out it was matching house paint? Was it removed? That's like somebody selling a product that had a discontinue on it, a recall, and they continue to sell the product because they didn't want to lose money on it. Or maybe they ordered the product and they didn't go through the proper channels and they can't get the refund for it. Sometimes that happens. Stores will buy something, you know, to get it off a truck or whatever, and they don't do things legitly, and they can't really get their money back on it because it was a recall on the item, and they continue to sell that product until somebody gets sick or die, and then they lose everything in the process because they took a risk. So did you take it off the shelves? No, you continue to sell it. So that's the reason why you're a perfect poster child for products that should have batch numbers attached to them. They should be tested. Now watch this part right here, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to zoom up on this. Also, too, really quick, I want to show you this real quick. Now, mind you, we're not going to go to Jamie's channel. The reason why we don't go to his channel because, again, Jamie's already in enough trouble, and he has multiple open cases on him. So, for go to his channel, would be like trying to, we know he's going to do something stupid. He's going to get him in a lot of trouble. Jamie's being monitored. As a matter of fact, the ones who are in the room are all being monitored under conspiracy charges. So, knock yourself and come in and do dumb stuff. Keep in mind, everything that's being done here is evidence and will be held up in court. All right, so that's why I said come in here and act like you got some common sense. You can come in the channel. I got no problem with that. But when you come in here carrying on and ranting and carrying on acting up, it's time for you to go. Because you're not telling me anything. If you want to tell me something, show me something. All right, that's how you do it. You want to tell me something, show me something. That's telling me something, not you. And I'm not seeing anything. I'm seeing stuff like this. So anyway, in his demonstrations, in his pictures on his site, he shows a woman in black makeup. This woman in black makeup is pulling off he's showing this insane amount of contrast. My screen paint does this, right? Same projector, it's the same projector, same P2, 2,000,001. So this right here is an LG OLED TV background. This is supposed to be 100% black. We've seen it before. So how come it's not coming up in 100% black on a projector that has a 2,000,000 to 1 contrast? What happened here? Because literally when we showed this video, when we posted to a site, they picked apart the video as they always do. And the first thing that someone popped up and said, what kind of projector is he using? I said, oh, that's an P2. This is a P2? That's a 2,000,000 to 1 contrast, ain't it? Yes, it is. So what happened? Where is the 2,000,000 to 1 contrast? I can literally do a demonstration alone just on this by itself. Where is the 2,000,000 to 1 contrast? Now, why did you see it on the woman with the black makeup on and you don't see it here, the same contrast level? Because the environment was different. Because he had it in a dark, dark environment. That's why. That's why. And this environment is not so dark. It's a little more light in there. It's not a lot of light in there, but it's enough to wash the screen out that badly. So where is the 2,000,000 to 1 contrast? Where did it go? Well then, guess what? That person over there who had a 500,000 to 1 on a 4K projector, guess what? He got the same color screen when his image popped up. Now, the reason why his image is still maintaining, because again, he's ultra short throw. The guy's long throw. He had a longer distance throw. Again, his screen was going to actually, wash out even faster. But look at this. Where's the contrast? Now, let me show you the part that I find even interesting. We're going to go past this. Watch this. Watch and watch. Now, what happened here? What happened here? This is a product that was beefed up to be something more than it wasn't. What happened here? Technically termed, this is called a gray versus gray demonstration. That's what it's called. What happened? How are you going to convince me, the customer, to buy your product if your product basically matched the house paint? Your product now is worth less than that house paint. You can't charge the same price as the house paint because I'll just buy the house paint. So it has to be cheaper than the house paint. So $50 is too expensive for your product. That's what just happened just now. This is what you're going to have to do in a batch number. You're going to have to do this demonstration over and over again and again and again and again. You don't get to do it just one time and then forget about it. You have to do this multiple times. And you have to do this with all your products. Do you know how much testing these guys are missing at the end of the day? Do you know how much testing is required for one screen paint? It's a ton of testing you have to go through. So that means you have to go through all that testing for one screen paint, and one of the most important ones is going to be the gray versus gray and black versus black. Do you have any of these posted to your website so the customers can see a comparison? We got these in shopping carts. We got these at the bottom of our website. They're splattered all over our website. They're splattered everywhere. Do you have any of these demonstrations to prove? Can you give your customers a batch number? And that's not just with him, and it's not just with the other fellow. I'm talking about all of them when it comes to batch numbers. Just not them, all of them. Can they back this up? Goose Screen, iPaint Screens, any of the big companies? How do you even know? You don't know because they don't do these testing. These testings are very important. Let me go on. Let's go show you some of the more interesting ones. Now, if this was somebody else who did this, yeah, we would be talking about that person. If it was 4 people who did this, then we talk about all 4 of those people. Because I want him to understand, you think at the end of the day, when you get mad, when you watch these demonstrations, you think, oh, he's just picking on me. No, 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 no. We said batch numbers for everybody. Everybody. Anyone developed black, anyone developed gunmetal, everybody should have one of these. And if you don't have one of these, you don't take your business seriously because you should back your products up. If a company went out and bought $3,000 of your product and this happened to them and they want to take you to court and sue you, how do you fight that claim? You can't. You lost $3,000. How are you going to fight it? If you get a bad customer comes and says, hey man, I match your stuff to a wall at the end of the day, you have any tests, anything to fight your claim, anything. You have nothing there at all. Anyone can take you to court at any given time for fraud. You can't back it up. Just like the thing with Danny, who came in and said his product has a range gain. Can you back this in court? Because if you can't back this in court and this company buys all this product from you and they turn around and go, well, how the frick do you get the range gain? They're going to contact you on this. They're not going to take your word. You don't even have a video showing you how to do this. So how in the world can you back that up? You're going to get sued for it. Gentlemen, you can't go in there and just make things up. You can't go in there and say that my product is different from house paint and all this stuff if you haven't done any testing, because what's going to happen, this is what's going to happen to you at the end. You should want to do this anyway. Why are you fighting me at the end of the day? You're mad at me because we're advising you to test your stuff so the customers don't get ripped off and so you don't end up in a situation that you can't get out of like this guy just got himself into. So you're mad at me about that. Hey, if you guys at the end of the day want to not provide batch numbers and you want to keep going down this road, then guess what? Expect lawsuits, expect getting hit with fraud charges, expect all that stuff that's going to happen to you at the end of the day. But we are going to make the customers self-aware that this is what they should do before they buy a product. And if you don't like this at all and this bothers you, then guess what you need to do? Pack it up and get out of the business. You have no business in this kind of business to begin with if you can't back your products up. You guys are real interesting people at the end of the day. I couldn't imagine you guys snapping and getting upset because something didn't have a guarantee or something didn't work the way you want it to work, and you're upset about it. It must have a 100% guarantee. I can imagine you guys getting upset about that, but yet you don't provide this for your own customers. What are you mad about? You did this to yourself at the end of the day when you don't test your products. Get on camera and talk a whole bunch of nonsense. That's what Danny does. He talks a lot of nonsense. Sat there and said that he never said anything about 4 containers. Man, it's just basic common sense. We had the videos. The videos that you got rid of, I had those videos. I can back that up in court any day. You come and you say, hey, I hit you with slander. Go knock yourself out. You know where I live at. Send me court papers. I told you, let me talk to your lawyer months ago. Matter of fact, last year. Show me something, because you don't have anything, because I'll take you to court and clean your clock for fraud. You sat there and said that your product never came in 4 colors. We just sat there and watched the video, 4 different colors of paint being painted onto a screen. You're not seeing this? Well, we're seeing it at the end of the day. Do I need to dig that video up? And then say it doesn't come in 4 containers. Then how the frick are you shipping it? Because you know you can't put it in 1 container. It's going to be cross-contamination all day long. It's going to mix all together. So how else would you be shipping it? Even if you have to put it in plastic bags, it's still got to come in different bags. It can't come in the same bag. You guys don't have a grasp on reality, honestly. I never said 4 containers. Or where else are you shipping it? I would love to hear you explain it to my lawyers and a judge. How in the world are you shipping it? Because if that's the case, that's a magic container at the end of the day. If you figured out a way how to put 4 different paints in 1 container without them basically cross-contamination and all that stuff, and you can pull them out easy and paint them 1 by 1, because you can see if you have different levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, but you're still going to have to get access to one of those. But so anyway, if you figured all that out, I would love to see this container. I would love to see this magic container. Other than that, it's coming in 4 different containers. That's how it's coming. Oh my goodness, man. And then literally had the video right there on his website for anyone to see this as he was lying underneath it by saying I never said that, but it's right there. You guys are just as funny as the whole, the Charlie Murphy with Rick James, and Rick James walks into Charlie Murphy's house with the freaking, and Eddie Murphy's house with the muddy cowboy boots, and he messes up his couch, and the guy's talking to him, and he says, and Rick James says, what do I look like, a grown man walking into Charlie's house, freaking Murphy's house, and messing up the couch, and then 1 second later, he says, yeah, I did it. He's rich, he could buy another one. He literally just did that on camera. So this is why you have to understand, do they take this business seriously? Or is this just a joke at the end of the day for them? Because apparently it's a joke. It is definitely a joke. Now, if I were to bring up fraud charges on your companies, can you withstand that hit? I don't think you can. Danny alone, I can hit you with fraud charges because you have something on your site that is virtually impossible and it's basically misleading to the customers. Range gain doesn't exist. You have to back this up or you're getting sued. Mind you, I'm suing you for a couple of things. Bottom line is I'm going to be suing you because you took images of me and you made these little characters. You can't do that. Like if I take his head and I cut it off and I stick it on a puppet or whatever, dog's body, whatever, he could sue me for that. Can't do that. And you did that to me multiple times. And I got tons of videos. I've dubbed videos and you call me scammer and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm going to be suing you for that term on that particular, saying I was committing fraud and all this stuff. Conspiracy with rumors with this guy and the other guy. You guys all plotted together and even got you guys in a live stream all talking together with my copyrighted label right there as the thumbnail. You're sued. And I'm going to turn around and I'm going to sue your company for fraud, because if you can't back up that range game, which you need to remove off your website, and you can't back this up, you are committing fraud against customers and anyone else who's doing business with you if you can't back it up. It's like if I come in and say we got FLE technology and we can basically absorb sunlight, I got to prove that. I got to back it up. Can't just say it. I can be sued for it. And if you're going to sit there and say my product matches house paint, I can send the judge a stack of demonstrations, and I can do it in the courtroom with no problem whatsoever. But you guys can't do this gray versus grays because your products are house paint at the end of the day. It is. If you look at this right here, his hat is actually darker than the contrast level that the screen is pulling up at a 500,000 to 1. Or sorry, 2 million to 1, my bad. Look at this. That's insane. That's a house paint. This is why batch numbers are important. Can you imagine the customer at the time when he was selling this stuff was around like $85 or $90? Can you imagine the customer paying $90 a quart and get home and this stuff will match their wall? Or even, God forbid, their daughter or son walks in front of it with a gray hoodie and blends into the screen. And this is why we don't consider y'all taking your business seriously. Y'all don't take your business seriously at all, period. You get on there, you lie on camera, you make these false products, nothing's backed up, nothing's tested, nothing has batch numbers underneath of it. You want people to pay all this money out for your stuff, and then you turn around, you get mad at people like me at the end of the day that can back their products 100%. So gentlemen, I want you to understand something here at the end of the day. Not only are you going to be challenged on, or actually going to be going to court for basically slandering me and all the other nonsense that went on, and copyright infringements and all that good stuff. But also, too, your companies, if you have one, will be put under the magnifying glass, so you know this. So if you got stuff on your site you shouldn't have, or you can't remove it anyway, you're an open case, you can't remove Jack anyway. If I tell you you can't remove Jack, everything has to stand the way it is. Because again, if stuff goes missing, and we find it missing, and they find it missing, it's going to clearly show that you tried to hide evidence, and that is not going to go well. That's an automatically guilty plea right there from the door. So you can't do anything at all, period. You're stuck. But you should have never put it there to begin with. This is absolutely awful. Look at this. I'm going to show you this up close with my camera up here. Look how that matches. And that man got up there on camera and sat there and said the same thing over again. His cut screen has a better hue. It has a better contrast. It has better color. You know, that the network gray is not pulling the same. That from his point of view, what he's seeing on camera is different from what you're seeing. Oh, come on. Come on now. Really? Oh, this one right here. Hold on for a minute, people. Sorry about that. And then you can see, if you watch the whole video, which you probably will, a lot of people come to watch the whole video, you can see he got up constantly time. He would block the screen with his body. He would constantly do this in front of the camera to basically throw off the, I mean, he did all kinds. Even at one point on the snow levels, he basically went in and dropped the camera, hit the camera so many times, kept touching the camera over and over again. It fell off the stand. Look at that. You see the difference here? Do you see her hair? His hat is darker than her hair on a projector of 2 million to 1. His hat is picking up a darker contrast level than the woman's hair right here. Batch numbers have to be needed. They have to, because if not, like I said, customers are going to get ripped off. Gentlemen, you're upset and mad at me and angry at me because I am requesting for batch numbers to be a thing for all screen paint products. This bothers you and this upsets you because that means your gravy train has been derailed. Look at that. That's absolutely horrible. Look at the Home Depot commercial. That's horrible. That's why you have to have batch numbers. Now, Jamie, I want you to understand this so you can get an understanding of this. Get in front of, he does it all the time, walks up and blocks the screen. Look at this, look at the snow levels. You have to understand. Now, I know right now you're probably thinking, oh, he's doing this. No. The stuff that you do, if you do dumb stuff at the end of the day, it just gets forwarded to the agencies. That's where it goes to. It just goes over to them. We know you do dumb stuff. You do dumb stuff constantly, all the time. This is why we have all the substantial evidence for you for court. But no, we're not doing this in a retaliation. I'm doing all this strictly due to the fact that batch numbers are needed. You just happen to be an individual who did a demonstration of gray versus gray, and you matched the screen perfectly. And this is a product you chalked up and talked up to be something different, some miracle paint at the end of the day, when technically at the end of the day, it's just basic house paint. That's what it is. There's no difference. There's no improvement. Nothing you're going to get off your projector whatsoever. So again, you take this, you let your what's the word? Your personal emotion get the best of you. It's not about that. You're already taken care of on that end, so you can understand that. All the dumb stuff you have done, that slander, you're already taken care of on that. That's already taken care of already. Okay, that's done already. What we're doing now is showing the consumer on why a batch number is needed, why products have to be tested. If this was somebody else who did this nonsense, guess it would be them too. As a matter of fact, yeah, there's another person who didn't match, but he did come out with he did have a product that didn't come out the color it was supposed to come up. Danny's product did that. Danny's product with Solid Week 5 came on. This guy was testing his product out, and his product came a complete different color. This is why products have to be tested. And look at that. There's your white levels right there. Constantly pushing his body in front of the screen to block the screen. Because he doesn't want you to see what's going on. Now you see how dark it's in the environment, because now you can no longer see his face that well. And he takes and puts the eco mode. I'm going to explain something to you about eco mode in demonstrations. Eco mode in a dark environment doesn't mean jack. Eco mode actually shows more of an impressive demonstration if it's done in a fully lit environment and you put it in eco mode. Being in the dark with eco mode doesn't mean anything. So he was trying to say in this part of the demonstration that his screen was pulling a higher white level. That'd be virtually impossible because the network gray, when you painted it down, was slightly lighter than your screen, which means it would have the ability to pull a higher white level. Now, would this make him a scammer? Yeah, if he continued to sell the product, it would have. If he basically made accusations about this product that didn't exist, if he said it pulled a 100% contrast, if he continued to sell this product on his website knowing that the product was basically matching house paint, yeah, that makes you a scammer. 100%. Because you knew that this product was matching a house paint. Look at the contrast levels with the guy tying up his boot. Look at the white levels in the background. If you sat there and you sold this product on your website, knowing what we all just saw, everyone saw this, and you still continue to sell this product, as a matter of fact, you go to this website right now, it's still there, then yes, that makes you a scammer. I don't even know how in the world someone has a video demonstration like this and continues to go on YouTube, even naming LLC under Cinemax, the very same product that ended up scamming a bunch of customers. What about the customers who bought this product before they saw this demonstration? Were they issue apologies? Did they get any of their money back? Something? Nope, not a thing. Anytime you do a video, anytime one of your customers pop into a forum site with a Cinemax, they are laughed out of the environment because we all know what it is. The reason why I haven't seen any videos of any customers in the last couple of years, and there's no customers in the last couple of years, is because they already found out themselves. They probably didn't even need our demonstrations. They probably figured it out themselves. There's nothing special about your product. One of the customers sat there and said their entire basement, they found nothing special about your product. That's why your policy is designed up to rip customers off. Lands on the property, it's yours. No exchange, no refund, no send the product back to us, none of that at all whatsoever, not a thing. If the product basically, you open it, which you're going to have to do anyway, you open it and you use the product, then there's no exchange. There's no refund. There's nothing there at all, period. Nothing to help you out. You're out there blowing in the wind. That's pretty much it. What can he do? Can he bring the product back? Can he do a live demonstration showing that the product doesn't match the house paint that you claimed it matched? Can he do any tests? Oh, he can't do test demonstrations. He never tested it to begin with. So I don't even know how that one's going to work. So you're not sending it back. No live tests there going to happen. Can he give you a batch number to guarantee your... Well, no, because imagine if this was a batch number demonstration right now. This wouldn't go well. Now, like I said, we have tons and tons of test demonstrations. And for those of you who want to sit there and say, well, his demonstrations aren't real, hey, you're more than welcome to match or better. I've got tons of demonstrations called Match or Better. Knock yourself out. Do the exact same settings, same size screen, same thing, knock yourself out. We don't see any Match or Betters matching our stuff. Heck, you don't even match our challenges. Again, if you're coming in here just to talk about how you're backing the product, then let me see a video. Show me something. I should be able to pop on here Saturday and go look around and find your videos. Mark them. Matter of fact, since you got all these talks at the end of the day, matter of fact, put the link at the bottom. Matter of fact, I'll put a video up saying place your link here. Back it up. And I bet you it'll be empty. Either be empty or it'll be nonsense, but you can't back it up because we know y'all can't back it up. Y'all don't have that capability. And if you did, we would have seen tons and tons of videos on those topics already. There's no point in coming in here and talking about something if there's no videos to back it up. If you're just now doing the videos on it and you've had that product, oh, it's pointless. Look at that. Look at that. It's crazy. So no, I don't want him to think at the end of the day, oh, he's just, no one's picking on you at the end of the day. Don't go Karen mode. I really don't have time for the hissy fits. This is why you should have had your stuff tested. Number one, should have been tested. So this wouldn't have happened to you, Jamie. Number two, this also, when it did happen, you should have removed the product directly off your site with an apology to your customers, explaining to them that you will do better next time, and for all products being tested, will be tested under these products to ensure your customers that the products work. If you did this, that means around the time we were campaigning now the batch number, you wouldn't be bothered by the batch number. But instead, you come into the channel ranting and carrying on and screaming with your friends, and they're carrying on and acting up for what? It's funny how the guy calls himself the minister, or what he calls himself, backs his product. This guy threw you clean under a bus. I mean, clean under a bus. You ever watch Tom and Jerry with the big dog grips up Tom by the back of its skin and just whoop? He threw you under a bus. You know that, right? You're sitting under a bus somewhere, looking up at the motor fuels and the muffler. That's where you're at right now. Because Jamie got sent a certified letter to his front door, which shows he picked it up and he delivered it and he signed for it. And in that letter, basically told him to challenge his theory on why our products were considered to be scam products by sending us over black paint. On top of that, an additional 9 video requests, including a couple of funny memes, asking him to send over this black paint, which he failed to do. And this has now got him into a lot of trouble. It's going to involve the criminal charges because that involves the rumors and stuff involved with that nonsense because this is where it'll stem from. It's going to involve massive lawsuits. It's going to involve a lot of bad stuff. And those people that supported this guy, he threw you under a bus. He made you believe at the end of the day that we were this person at the end of the day. But now, because he didn't send this over and we gave him the opportunity, you are now in the same situation he's at. You got caught up in his cobweb now. And you go back and sit there and say, well, why didn't you send it to him? He sat there and you said, you made me believe at the end of the day, this is where the finger pointing is going to start. You made me believe at the end of the day that this person was such and so, and you mean to tell me you lied the entire time? And I believe this is what's going to happen. Because we gave you the opportunity. That letter right there holds extremely heavy weight now, because I can use that in criminal charges, and I can also use that in the lawsuits, even against your company, because you use your company to basically advertise that we were doing all these bad things. So those of you that are involved with this guy who supported what he believed in, even though he lied, are now a part of it. Welcome. You're welcome. You know what? You should have known better than that. We warned you about this individual. I warned you multiple times about this individual. You're part of a conspiracy charge now. Well, okay. Well, yeah, that right there. So anyway, long story short, batch numbers are required. They need to be required. It's very important. And the products that you are getting from these individuals are fake items. There are, unless they can back it up. This is the Bear Silver Screen. For those of you overseas, yeah, this has been taken away from the American customers and put in your shopping carts. So this right here is the personal mix. This is the same product of the customer with 3,500 lumen projector, 4K, washed out completely at 200 lumens. I'm sorry, 3,500 lumens next on a 200 inch next to a window. Gone. Screen's not even there anymore. He said in the video, unenjoyable. Now, again, you think he would have been much happier if you got a batch number attached to that product? I think he would have been much happier. I think all his customers would be extremely happy if they have a batch number. So when people come in the forum sites and they talk about, you got a batch number next to that thing? Does that thing actually work at the end of the day? How do you know it works? How you're not being, at the end of the day, you're not being shipped everyday house paint? This guy just walked out of a Home Depot with house paint in his hand. So how do you know what you're getting is real? And that's not just with him, that's with everybody. How do you know what you're getting is real? If there's no test, how do you know? Gentlemen, let me explain something to you real quick, all right? If your products are tested, right? These tests should be on your page. These videos you have here should be on your page. These videos should not go missing. When we go before a judge, when this individual has to go before a judge, and your company's put on the stand, so you can understand this, this is going to come up. And you're going to show this to a judge. We're going to show that you've been ripping people off for a very long time. Not only that, like I said, you've been making money off Frankenstein. You haven't paid out any royalties on that whatsoever. You don't want to talk about that, do you? You ripped off a company and basically made money off of them and didn't pay them a dime in royalties. Oh, you don't want to speak about that one, do you? Okay. Just wondering, just pick and choose your battles as you go. But anyway, you ripped off people with this product, and then you can't show the product was ever tested. You don't have no test results. You have no batch numbers. The reason why I'm telling you why you want to back your stuff up. He has no way to basically, he's put it this way. It's like someone throwing you over a side of a mountain. He has nothing there for no parachute, nothing. He's just going to hit the ground, take the impact, and hope to survive it. That's it. He has no way to back himself in court. No way. It's an open and shut, very easy. There he's painting the screen down. Okay, you show the windows, which I find interesting. He shows the windows open there, but then when he basically does this demonstration, the windows are shut. Now, your overseas customers who buy, if they do buy the personal mix, and I'm pretty sure they're not, their charge for the product, which again, if you're overseas, this is in your shopping cart, you can just go over to Home Depot or one of those places, or Home Depot and just buy the same thing. It's the same thing. It's no difference. And you're on top of that, you're not charged a $70 surcharge fee. Think about that. So let's see, because we said, we actually told him about this demonstration. This product was matching the Bear Silver Screen. So he does a demonstration here. See, the blinds are shut now. They're open at one point, now they're shut. Now, one of the things we tell customers and we help them out with, when you're watching demonstrations, if someone has to fit, if someone's a finger distance from the screen showing you the difference, you're going to have a problem there. Because if they have to be that close to show you the difference, then that means at 11 to 12 feet where you're really going to be sitting at, you're not going to notice jack at all, period. You get that close. We've done demonstration. I take a white sheet of paper, stick it on the screen, walk around the environment. I should be able to move anywhere I want. I should be in the kitchen, should be here, blah, blah, blah. And that screen should pick up, and I should be able to see the difference. So let's go over here. Now, we done these tests? Yeah, we've done these tests already. When we had this products down here, we actually had, matter of fact, what product was it we had outside? I hope you didn't say that product was outside, because we did a demonstration on this product, unboxing, cans, and all. This is when we were buying this stuff, and we could get it over here before you started doing all the other crazy stuff. But yeah, we have unboxing videos on this products. As a matter of fact, Jamie, you want to hear something interesting? I have more unboxing videos on my channel of your stuff and receipts, actual legit receipts, than you have of any of my products. You have one receipt of a 2.0, which again, you're going to court for a batch number violation because again, you committed fraud on that one. That's a $12,000 lawsuit. But anyway, as I said before, how is that possible? And yet you're supposed to know my product so well. I have more unboxings than you of your own product and receipts. I was wondering about that. We got to think about that. How? You know my product, and I got more unboxings than on your own product. So I know your product already. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Boy, I feel sorry for the people who saw this demonstration after they bought this product and painted this thing down to a wall and go, what the freak am I looking at here? And then sat in the video and said the same thing as in the other video. It was, the screen was pulling a higher white level, was pulling better color. No, buddy, me and the judge and my lawyers, man, it's the same screen. There's no difference in your product and house paint. Now, like I said, if it was somebody else who did this, yeah, we'd be talking about that somebody else. So I don't want you to feel at the end of the day we're picking on you, because we're not, Jamie. We're not picking on you. It's the fact that the problem we have here is that you did these demonstrations, and I don't know how in the world you went on a live stream or pre-recorded stream, and you didn't see this. If you didn't see this, and God forbid what else the rest of your stuff is doing. If you didn't pick up on like, gee whiz, I'm matching this stuff a little too close. I don't want to post this. These videos sat up there for like 4 and 5 months before he removed them off his account. So that means 4 or 5 months, he didn't see that the screens were matching. And then all of a sudden it clicked in, like, cling, oh shoot, they're matching. Let me remove the videos. But too late. People bought the product. And again, this is where I question your customers. At the end of the day, when it comes to basic common sense, I'm sorry, I got to put your customers on blast on this. How in the freak did y'all read through that circus ride of a website, believe that freaking nonsense, and then watch this video and still buy the product? This is why they're embarrassed. How in the world? Even the people who come in and try to support Jamie's shenanigans, at the end of the day, this is what you're supporting? That's what you support. It's his video. So that's what you support. You're right now, you're explaining to us when you come into this room. This is why I leave a hot mic. You're explaining to us when you come into this room, this is where your intelligent level lands at. That you saw this video and you thought, these are 2 different videos right here. These are 2 different demonstrations. There's a big difference between his product. Really, you just explained to me where your intelligent level just lays at. Oh, I'm going to leave you in here. I only put you, when your chat came in, I put you in timeout. I'm leaving your messages here for everybody to read. You know where these videos pop up at? We pop them up in form sites so people can see what I'm explaining to them and watch the reaction of how people come in and defend people who commit these acts. So your messages are going to stay there. They're not going anywhere. This is why I explained to y'all at the end of the day, you see me open up a hot mic, there's a purpose for a hot mic when they open them up. So if people come in the room, they come in and they're quiet and they watch. That's basically about it. But it's designed for the ranters. It's designed for people who support this nonsense and allow this nonsense to continue on and defend this nonsense so other people get ripped off. That's what it's designed for. So again, how is this? We're looking at this right here. I'm trying to get an understanding. How did the person make this stuff and not see this? Contrast levels are even matching. And bare silver screen is really light. It's so light that actually at one point I thought it was like white paint. I thought they gave me white paint at one point when we did the demonstration versus this product. I was like, did I get freaking? Is this silver? But no, it's basically it's like a really high end white paint, but it does have a little gray to it. It's kind of weird looking. But look at that. Look at the contrast. Look how it matched. It's like I said. A screen should never match that close to anything, especially house paint. That's the last thing you want. So, again, Jamie, I'm going to give you another corner to paint yourself into, right? Since you want to come in here and you got friends want to come here, rant and carry on, how about by Monday, you guys show us some demonstrations of your products versus gray paints? Since you're supporters, these guys coming in and they support you, I would love to see these demonstrations. I think we all would love to see these demonstrations. And how about for now on, when you sell your products, until the other things catch up, and we have to take care of that business next, you start presenting all batch numbers and tests from now on, from here on in. Because if you're going to come in here and you're going to rant and carry on about how good your products are, then I don't want to hear it today. I want to see tests and I want to see batch numbers. Starting with get the Kraken, Jackson, go over to freaking and pick up some Home Depot, Sherman-Williams, Benjamin Moore, do the great tones, show us that your products are complete different. I want to see fully lit environments. I want to see 1,000 demonstrations. You got an ultra short though, you're good with that. Drop it out of venue, take it outside, do some demonstrations, because again, you claim your products can be used outside. I want to see this not at nighttime. I want to see this at 5 to 6 o'clock in the evening when we fire up. And from now on, all batch numbers with a gray versus gray attached to them, showing that your product's not matching any form of house paint. If you're going to come here and talk trash, you got to back it up. And those of you who came in the room who back him up and said at the end of the day that, well, I back the product up 100%. This is what you back up 100%? Then show us. Do some demonstrations. Go pick out some of those products that he refuses to do and do the demonstration live. Of course you don't want to do it live, because you know why? Because you don't want the embarrassment that comes along with it. Because you know at the end of the day that you're just coming here to back up something that you know at the end of the day you really don't support deep down inside, and you know you got ripped off. You know you got ripped off. You just can't say anything about it. Some people get ripped off because they back something so high, right? And then they get ripped off on it and they can't say anything about it. They have to suffer in quietness. That's what they have to do, because they can't say anything about it. Yes, you can. Go ahead. You got ripped off. You got robbed at the end of the day. Your product has no testing. It doesn't have any batch numbers. You can't back it 100%. But since Fernando feels at the end of the day that, hey, you know, I can come in here and rant and I can back my product, then you know what? Let's see batch numbers from now on. And those batch numbers are going to require gray test demonstrations. And he's not going to do it. Besides, anyway, gentlemen, that is the least of your worries right now. It is. It's the least of your worries. But if you're going to go down that road, just back it up. Let's see some more of these gray versus gray. I would love to see more of these demonstrations. I'm pretty sure we all would. I would love to see more of these. Till then, I never got my black paint as I requested, so I guess I'll be going over to Home Depot and picking up black paint over there, because someone was going to buy it for us, but he couldn't do it. So, you know, we'll be buying it instead, because I got to fall in my category. We have to do black versus black. We love doing those demonstrations, but we just didn't get them. You know, that would have been amazing. That would have been the most ultimate black versus black demonstration. It would have been the ultimate. Now I got to find somebody else to put that pressure on. Who will I get to get that pressure to add it to them? You want that? I can pass that Pandora box over to you. The other person didn't want to open it because he was terrified of what was coming. So how about I pass it on to another naysayer? You want that embarrassment? You know how embarrassing that is when I sit there and say that on camera, that a person was so terrified to do that demonstration, send us down our black paint for us to do our demonstrations, that now we have to pass it to someone else. And they don't want it either. None of them want it. Do I have to prove that none of you want it? Because I'll put that challenge on all of you and embarrass you. I mean, really embarrass you. Now, keep in mind, if anything comes in that package, it's not supposed to be in there clearly. And that statement, it's a statement for the judge and a statement for the individual. So the judge fully knows exactly what we requested and what we asked for. It also says in that statement that if anything is sent other than what we requested, that we'll be filing criminal charges against you, which means you'll be landing yourself in court. And your address has to be legit. It has to be from your address, which a lot of you are cowards, so you won't give up your addresses. I will give you mine. Now, can you back it? I don't think you can. Some of you are afraid to give me your address because you don't want me knowing where you live at, but don't worry about that. As for the conspiracy charges, excellent, beautiful thing about that, they hired the investigators to track down who was involved so they could bring them in for court. So that doesn't make a difference anyway. I'm going to have your address regardless or not. But anyway, getting back to this. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Tell me that's freaking not insane. He walked out of a Home Depot and he matched that well. Now, like I said, he'll take it and get offensive and get angry at the end of the day and say, hey, look, blah, blah this and blah, blah that. Look, man, at the end of the day, you're going to have to still test your stuff. Customers are not going to buy anything unless you have your product guarantee. You want a 100% guarantee. When you buy things at the end of the day, you want to make sure they work 100%. Then guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to go in and test your products. That's what you're going to have to do. Oh, right here at the bottom, you find this guy right here. Took pictures next to the receipt. That's hilarious. My lawyer saw it and couldn't stop laughing. These are post office fraud charges. You know, these are going already. Whew, the Frankenstein. Frankenstein has so many scams on it. It's not even funny. At one point he says it's not. At one point he says it is. It's a whole freaking nightmare. So videos deleted off accounts. This is another demonstration of what missing. These are also two. We bring you into court. I'm going to be requesting the receipts for the 39. These are videos where you did demonstrations against this product and you claimed you did a customer review on it. So this is 4 weeks, well, not 4 weeks ago, but this is where he did this demonstration claiming he had a product. We want those receipts, by the way. And if you can't show a transaction receipts, I can easily match the transaction on the 2.0 and try to find an identical match of that receipt in our accounts. We can't find anything. This is going to be another $1 million lawsuit. We know you don't got the money, but it doesn't make a difference to me at the end of the day. It really doesn't. Let me see what we got going here. Okay, these videos right here show after evidence showing that he got caught. These are videos that are missing. These are all deleted videos off his account. But not only that, they show his products match the products that he's selling on his website. Metallica 2.0 was sold on his website for $95. It shows that right here. It shows a video of him making a product for free and then trying to charge you for it. Over here, we have the network grade 773 Sherman-Williams. It shows him matching the product here. It shows him continuing to sell the product. As I told you before, when we take it to court about your company, I can clearly show that you were caught at this time stamp here for matching the product. And then this is how long you continue to sell it, knowing that your product was matching, which is considered to be fraud. This shows you right here in this demonstration how you removed images off of Google, placed them onto your site, also to committing fraud, trying to make your customers believe that this is how your images were coming up. And quite frankly, they weren't. These are images that were coming off Google and had nothing to do with your products. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. We got evidence for days. But other than that, you have to consider the fact, people, when you're buying these products, are they taking the business seriously, or is it considered to be a joke? That's why this is how you narrow it all down. Get a batch number. That's how you do it. Request a batch number. Anytime you buy that product, you want a batch number. If you want to go farther than that, you want to see test on the product before it was shipped. Before it was actually sold to the customer. And you want to see the batch number, which shows the product being tested before it was shipped. They can't give you the batch number, then don't bother with it. If it ain't got the batch, then it's nothing but trash. There you go. And that's not just with these. That's with everybody. Everybody should have a batch number. Not just with Jamie, not with Danny. Everybody should have batch numbers. Everybody should have. Anyone selling screen paint should have batch numbers. Heck, I would love to see a lot of these certified screens go to this freaking batch number too, because I don't know why. I mean, I know this stuff is tested. We know this stuff is tested, but to what degree is it tested? That's the thing about it. What degree is it tested on? So yeah, everything needs to have a batch number. I got to do knockoff projectors. Actually, I bought the 50 lumen projector for $35 on eBay. I bought that sucker. It's coming in. I can't wait for it to get here. I cannot wait for it to get here. 50,000 lumens. You got to be kidding me. There's no way in the world that thing's ever going to work at all, period. 50,000 lumens. All right, so let's come over here. This is our marketplace. As you can see, we try to do things on a professional level for our customers. Put the time and effort in to build a good site. So here, as we go on the bottom, you will see down here, these are our products right here. And you will see at the bottom, when you hit here, it explains to you why. We tell you why. We don't go and tell you that, oh, you can't use your screen paint. We don't suggest you use it for home purposes, because, and don't tell you why. Don't tell you anything at all. Why can't you use it for home purposes? Because it's funny, all the people that I've seen the Frankenstein was using it in homes. Did you notice that? Did you notice that in the demonstration? He sits there and says he doesn't recommend you use this for home purposes unless it's up to you. But the customer who was using it was in a home. Yeah, they're just putting lies in there. Just dumb stuff in there. So, gentlemen, you need to have one of these. You see what this? These are called black versus black demonstrations. On your end, it should be gray versus gray. Now, Jamie, you just did a simple demonstration. Simple. All you did was just take a surface and put it against your screen. I've actually taken paint and I've drawn into screens with it in a live stream demonstration. I've made my own versions of black paints against my own products. We've done everything from fabric, micro mesh, you name it, different versions of tablecloths, so many different versions of black paint, it's not even funny. As a matter of fact, the FOE technology is so advanced that we can't put one paint against it. We're going to knock out an entire store product line of black paint to show you the advancements of that technology. Can you say that? Can you say that you can take a Cinemax and knock out an entire gray product line of Home Depot? Can you say that? No, you can't. Because your products don't work. See all these tests? Fabrics, all this, micro mesh, blah, blah, blah. You can't beat any of these demonstrations. You're not outside demonstrations. Yeah, you have to do black versus black outside. We have to do them all the time. See? Has to be done outside too. You got no windows, no doors, nothing protecting your screen. You got to be out there doing it. See? Got to do a color level demonstration. All that. Everything. So you have to do that inside and outside. All that. And you struggled. You struggled badly with a gray screen. So badly that you deleted the video. And we had tons of these sitting on the site. This is not even all my black versus black demonstrations. I literally have to build me a separate page dedicated to all our videos. It's going to be at least about almost 100 videos in there loading up, including the technology we have now, which you have tons of it, which all of them have to go through black versus black demonstration. That's literally why we're building a separate page to house all the test demonstrations. We got them going back from 7s. They just go on and on and on and on. And you guys are terrified to do gray versus gray. It scares you that much. This is why you can't provide a batch number. We know you can't provide a batch number because you can't back your products up and you don't take your company seriously. That surface, we see that window, boom, there it is right there. That product hasn't even launched yet. And even though we're done 60% done and we threw a black versus black on it. So you have to back it up, gentlemen. I know you don't want to, you know, you feel you don't need to, but I'm going to keep pushing for the customer and I'm going to keep educating the customer on what they need to look for and how they need to present, how do you need to ask for a product at the end of the day. Do not let them get you in a corner with some dumb nonsense. Don't have them say, well, you need this, need that. No, things you need to ask is, I want to see your products tested before you sold that product. I want to see some kind of test. These demonstrations show the product being tested before they're sold. You have to see this. I want a batch number. Can you guarantee me a batch number on this product? What's the guarantee on this product? Show me a batch number. Batch number is a 1% guarantee. Can you give me this? I want you to look at this for a minute. Watch when the projector switches. Just a second before they switch. So when you do these demonstrations on these screens, I can't get it. When you do these demonstrations on these screens, a batch number, a black versus black demonstration requires multiple caliber projectors. It has to. Because some people have the theory that if you hit a black paint or whatever with a high enough projector, this will bring out the white levels. Fail. I've got projectors over there, high lumens. It doesn't work at all, period. If I will generate on our end, you have to be to show at 1,000 lumens outside or inside with a lot of light that you can actually generate a white level of black versus black. Because then people have the still theory that you have to have high lumen projectors. But on our end, for our personal testing, we have to see our screen be able to generate a high enough white level, even when it's challenged against a projector of 1,000 lumens at a distance, because we mean at a distance, 1,000 lumens isn't going to be jacked by the time it hits the screen. There's nothing left of 1,000 lumens by the time it makes it to that screen. And that screen's going to have to muster up enough white levels to overpower the black surface that's laying against it. That's the purpose of that test. This is why when you saw the screen sitting outside at 250 inches, it was generating so much white light that the grass in front of it was turning white. Because that technology has that ability. So you take a technology and you engineer it with the bare minimum. You don't boost it from the door with 4,000, 5,000. We don't do that. That's why you punch into our channel and you pull up Old Faithful. She's everywhere because we base our demonstrations off the 1,000 lumen demonstration. Because we know if we can get a screen that travel 15 feet across a well-lit area, even outside, and it basically can, that black screen can generate a white level high enough to be able to beat the black surface laying against it. Imagine when we hit it with a measly 4,000 or 3,000 projector, 2,800 lumen projector, anything over the 1,000 mark, that screen can generate. But you guys come in and hit a screen with a high-end 4K laser projector, blah, blah, blah. You don't start from the bottom. This is why anyone who buys your product has to have the same projector in order to get the same results. And then if that's the case, they got to spend thousands of dollars for a projector to fix something that the screen can't do. You did it backwards. You're supposed to start with the low grades. That's what we see with the certified. Certifieds are coming with the most expensive projector on God's green planet and do the demonstration. Wow, look at the images. But you don't realize while you're sitting there in the booth looking at this, you're going to have to spend the money for the same projector. Because if not, and you go under this thing, you're going to lose quality. Because you don't own the same projector or over. And that's why there's demonstrations on low entry-level projectors are important. Not only that, it tells the customer at the end of the day, gee, well, I don't got to spend all this money for a projector now. I can just go buy a basic 720p. It can cost me like $100 to $50, and that's it. I'm getting an amazing-looking image. That's why, gentlemen, I was able to walk around. You talk about your ultra-short throw. I put you ultra-short throw demonstrations to shame. Think about it. Optima GT 5500 outside. I beat the promo demonstration. I brought the screen up to 140 inches. That projector is only designed to do 100 inches. I got a 140 inch outside at 180 degree viewing, 100 to 90, 180 viewing angle, and I got it crisp clean with no problem. With a bigger image. So that tells people at the end of the day, you buy that projector, you're not stuck at 100 inches. You can go behind factory settings and you can blow up to 140. And you can use it outside if you want. If it runs outside, guess what? It'll run inside with no problem too on top of that. The projector we have on the floor, which is the $60 NEC projector, we get 150 out of that in a fully lit environment. You don't have to go out and spend money for the AWA projector or any one of the other projectors they have because they promise you 150 inch. You can spend all that money. We can do it with any projector. Optima P2, we can knock it out at 150 inches. Optima P2 does 120. So we probably get 160, 170 out of that machine easily with no problem in a fully lit environment and turn off the contrast in the process because we don't need it. This is what I'm talking about. This is what you have to be able to do and prove. All you're doing at the end of the day, you're just basically doing smoke and mirror campaigns. You got these dark environments. Again, An ultra short throw projector. The main purpose of the ultra short throw projector is to give you like a TV-like experience. Again, TV-like experience. But if you're stuck in the dark and TVs can thrive in fully lit environments, you kind of miss that mark right off the bat. Yeah. Come on now. Now, keep in mind, y'all talk about how your screen, some people, y'all, I've seen some, not him, but I've seen people talk about the screens being ambient light projection. You're in a rehearsed environment. I walked around in a building, an office building. We didn't change any of the light in that environment. You know what happened if I turned out the lights in that environment? There's a whole office section over there working. No, we walked around in that environment with $178 720p ultra short throw under my arm, and in every environment that I popped up in, the screen pulled. It was in office areas, outside areas, in lobbies, in classrooms, everywhere with that projector, and we pulled with no problem. Even outside on the glass, we pulled every place in that building. No ambient light controlled environments, no expensive high power projectors needed. $178 projector, that's it. So when y'all come into my channel and y'all start ranting and carrying on, you know why I don't read your stuff at the end of the day? Because I don't see it, that's why. When I do my YouTube field trip, I don't see it. I don't see your demonstrations. I don't see anything. I just see these really dark environments, again, on these projectors, poor colors, poor contrast, and a bunch of talk. That's all I see. I don't see anything at all. I go to your websites, mumbo jumbo. That's what I see. Danny on his website ripped off an image. Literally ripped an image off of Google, called it a gymnasium. Wasn't even close. Not even a gymnasium. It was a church. Doesn't know the difference between a gymnasium and a church. And said one of its installments, and his screen's nowhere to be found. Blew the image up. There's nowhere where his screen's in sight. As a matter of fact, he got caught. He literally got caught stealing images off of Google. There you go. There's another one for you. What's the difference? This is in the apartment. What's the difference between black fabric and our technology? Yeah. So gentlemen, anytime that you think that I'm a joke at the end of the day and you want to take me to court for fraud, knock yourself out. I'll see you there with no problem. I'll be there with bells on. Not only will I be to do this demonstration in the courtroom, but I'll embarrass the daylight. I'll countersue you and take even more from you. If we're not even taking more already from you, I'll embarrass you badly in a courtroom. You know how embarrassing that's going to be? Why do you think none of the certified companies won't take me to a courtroom? They don't want me to have that kind of publicity. Any one of these companies, any one of these certified companies wouldn't dare stick me in a courtroom, because I would crush your screen in a courtroom easily. You want to give me that kind of publicity at the end of the day? Give me the ammo. I got no problem putting it in the chamber. I'll fire. No problem whatsoever. None of these certified companies, not one of them, will ever put me to court at the end of the day. As long as I do things by the book. If I'm bringing your product over here, I'm giving it the utmost respect with anybody else's product. I'm not going to say it's this. I'm not going to say it's that at the end of the day. But I'm going to do a fair demonstration. But I guarantee you, bar none, I'll beat your screen. And you can't take me to court over it and say, hey, you can't. No, how are you going to do that? Right now, with the diamond technology, it's amazing technology, but they can't take on our contrast level and color. My screen produces a 100% black. I can beat any gunmetal technology on the planet right now. Unless we find another black screen, which I'm having a hard time doing that. And the black screens I do find don't even have enough testing to match our testing that we worth our time. Now, when our new gunmetal Imperial launches, I'm going to make this statement. It's going to beat every gunmetal screen on the market, because that's what I'm engineered designed to do. It'll wipe out every single gunmetal on the market. No message to you people who make gunmetal at the end of the day. If you haven't tested, put it this way, people, I understand it for the customers. Anytime someone says that they have a gunmetal technology, they're going to have to take out gunmetal technology in order to get that title to say it. Why do you think I had stacks and stacks of gunmetal screens? Because in order for you to sit there and say that you have a gunmetal, you have to be to beat the gunmetal. You can't just say you have gunmetal and you've never done any real tests. And I'm not talking about Jamie in these dark, dingy environments, because these gunmetal screens don't sit in those environments because they have ambient light rejection. That's another red flag. If you're watching somebody saying they got gunmetal and they're in dark environments, there's a huge red flag there, because gunmetal screens don't really have to be in those environments at all, period. Some of the gunmetal that I've actually tested, I have no idea why they have it in an ambient light controlled environment, because again, they pulled pretty good. So, yep. All right, people, that's basically about it. I got to finish off my rest of my work here. I got to go pop over here and pick up something from my cat. I got some things I got to do around here myself. And no, I ain't got to be downtown today. I got some other stuff that has to be done. I got work to do. But yeah, just giving you an eye opener. And the reason when I come on here, people, look, if you want to challenge my products, and you go look at my test demonstrations, go to my YouTube channel, check out my test demonstrations. Any of you naysayers out there in the day want to say my demonstrations are fake, we got match or better. Match or better any of my demonstrations. Knock yourself. I got 10,000 of them. Enjoy. As for blah 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 blah, yeah, and as for the customers, we're going to keep educating on you what you need to ask for when you come to products. If they stutter, if they trip up, and they try to change the conversation to something else, hang the phone up and move on to us. That's what you do. You want a batch number. That's what you want in your product. You want a 100% guarantee that your product's going to work. If they can't offer it to you, move on. And keep in mind, in that batch number test, the most important one is going to be gray versus gray and black versus black. You need to know that you're being sold a product and not an everyday house paint. Gotta go. Thank you all, and God bless.